welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiera, your friendly neighborhood regional flight attendant, and today is March 1st. Happy March, start of a new month and start of a 3-day trip. So this was a 5-day block for me actually, but the first 2 days I was able to sit short call at home. They did not use me, and I greatly appreciated that because your girl had been flying. It seemed like every day I was flying in February. Like, I did a lot of flying, and it would have been more had I not been junior manded. So if you watch my last vlog, you would have seen that I got junior manded into my off day. So they had to give me another off day, which took me off of a 3-day short call trip that they had given me right before this trip. So I rested, y'all, and I rested and I rested, and I feel great. So it's now 9:54. I'm about to head to the airport. I have an 11:34 report time, and as I mentioned, today's the start of a 3-day block. So it should be a pretty smooth 3-day. So today I have a Charleston turn, so DC to Charleston, South Carolina, Charleston back to DC, and then I overnight in Columbia, South Carolina. So be flying back and forth to South Carolina today, and then overnight there. Then tomorrow I have a Columbia to DC, DC to Norfolk, and that's it. So tomorrow's gonna be a pretty easy day, and I end pretty early. Overnight in Norfolk, and then that last day, I know it's Norfolk to DC, and then there's a turn. Don't get me lying on where I'm turning to, but it's a turn, and barring any irregular operations, that should be my schedule because this is the trip that I picked up. So yeah, it should be smooth sailing. And then I have a day off following this 3-day trip. So I'm going to make my way to the airport, like I said, and I'll check in with you guys there. Hopefully things are starting to get back into a flow. Like, for February to normally be this like in mid-January going into February to be technically our slow period, it was busy. Obviously that has a lot to do with everything that's been going on in aviation. So I do hope that things are starting to smooth out. For this month, the only trip that I picked up is this trip. This is the only one that I picked up, and I'm okay with that. I tried to pick up another 2-day trip, but someone more senior picked it up. So I'm gonna take it easy this month. So, because I have been flying a lot, I have been picking up a lot of trips, and I know what that can do to my body. So for the month of March, it's gonna be whatever they assign me. So I'm going to, after this, I'm at the mercy of crew scheduling. So I'm sure that will make for a very interesting time. But I'm actually looking forward to it, and I'll pick things up come April. I'll start picking up more trips again. So yeah, I'll stop rambling, and I will see you guys at the airport. So we have made it through security. I didn't get ready to my KCM, so that was great. Hello.
I am Cameron.
Kiera. Whew. I don't think I've checked in with you guys since I got to the airport. Well, no, since I left home to get to the airport, because it was a quick turn and doing Charleston. I had tried to record when I got on the plane at first, but I think the FO was coming on and we were talking, and I was like, all right, but I never got around to re-recording that. So here we are. I am back in DC, and we have about an hour before. Hi, I'm doing well. Okay, So we board in 14 minutes. I have my other flight attendant is on board, and I actually flew with one of her classmates coming in, so this is nice. I do actually enjoy flying with new flight attendants. I think it's fun. I want to make sure that they're comfortable. If they have any questions, they can always ask me. And it's just, yeah. So, yeah, we board in 13 minutes. It's not a completely full flight, but she's pretty full. And we're going to make this quick one to Columbia. We have made it to Columbia, South Carolina. And y'all, I'm about to eat. I had to go downstairs and get a fork because packed lunch so I could save money. Did not pack silverware. So, yeah, we'll just be going through that. Today was a great day. We were on time for all 3 flights. I wasn't going to say anything until we actually were on time for all 3. I didn't want to say anything about the first 2 being on time because that's just enough to jinx us. So we were on time for all 3 flights. First flight from DC to Charleston, I had to swap 2 passengers because we had a passenger with a cabin pet, and the cabin pet has to stay in the carrier. The carrier has to go under the seat in front of them. But they were in a bulkhead. And not just any bulkhead, they row 1 bulkhead. So I had to switch them with row 2. And because that pet has to stay in the carrier. So 2D was not too happy about that because he was like, he didn't like the bulkhead, but he slept peacefully the duration of the flight, so that wasn't too bad. Then we had a completely full flight from Charleston to DC. And like I said, we were on time, so everyone was able to make their connections, I love that. It was very turbulent on the climb out from DC and the climb out from Charleston. So it was turbulent coming back down too. So it was bumpy, but we made it. And then the last flight from DC to Columbia, lively bunch, very, very lively. They loved our captain, they loved our crew, because we brought good energy. We had a good time. And row 2, I think she was a grandma and the granddaughter, and she was telling me how she flew in on our mainline carrier, and she was like, the flight attendant just didn't give the energy that we were giving, and she appreciated the attention and the care and the joy that we brought to their flight today. So I was like, oh, I was so happy. I wish I had wings to give the little one, but I'm all out, so I have to go and get some more wings next time I have a bit of a sit in DC. So today was real smooth. I am glad. This was a good return to flying after I had 3 days off. Well, it felt like 4 because I flew in on the 25th. I had to deadhead in because I was junior mandate because we had maintenance delay. So I was deadheaded in on the 25th. They gave me the 26th off, and then I sat short call on the 27th and 28th from home. So much needed rest was gotten, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So I'm getting back in the swing of things. It's a great start to the month, and I can't wait. Tomorrow I'm anticipating, although I'm not going to say it, but we're going to have a good day tomorrow. It's only 2 legs tomorrow. So Columbia to DC, DC to Norfolk. And then that turn that I was telling you guys about for the following day. So it's Norfolk to DC, and then it's a pretty long flight. It's was it Destin, Fort Walton, Florida. So DC to Fort Walton back. So it's gonna be a doozy, but we're gonna get through it. So I'm going to finish. I didn't even start. I'm going to eat my food, unwind, start getting myself together because we have a 6:08 van time, and it's currently 7:31. So I want to get myself together, unwind, and get ready for tomorrow. Good morning. It is now 5:47 a.m. I have a 6:08 van time, so I'm gonna finish packing up and make my way downstairs. Today we just have two legs. We have the Columbia to DC, and then DC to Norfolk. So the first one is a service flight, the second one is not. I'm getting a different flight attendant when we go to Norfolk. And then I should be keeping, I say like, this is my flight attendant, but we should be staying together through the rest of the trip. So we'll see, we shall see. I picked this trip up so I don't have to worry about it, but every flight attendant that I've flown with and I am going to fly with, they're new. So I flew with, I think I mentioned yesterday, I flew with two flight attendants who were in the same graduating class. So that was fun. And then I fly with them. I don't know if the flight attendant I'm getting is in the same graduating class, but they are also newer than I am. So we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and get my stuff. As you can see, I'm packed and ready. All packed and ready. And I'm gonna head out. And I don't think I did a room tour. No, it's not. I don't think. I know I did not do a room tour when I got here, because as soon as I got here, I ate and then I went to bed. So I've stayed in Columbia before, so I'm just gonna graze over it, but we'll do a quick room tour. So this is the door. We have the bathroom here. Lovely light lit up mirror. Shower. Toilet. The mirror I was just talking to you guys in. They have this lovely ledge here. Fridge. Star of the show. Microwave in the room. Absolutely loved it. And tea and coffee. And then there's the room. This is a closet. You've seen one hotel closet, you've seen them all. And then, desk, little lounge couch. Window area, the bed. So yeah, that is the room. I am gonna go ahead and start making my way downstairs because it's about that time. Norfolk. I've already dropped my stuff off in the room. I'm gonna go ahead and head back down to the crew room, heat up my food for some lunch, and then go from there. We had 2 great flights, y'all, on time. On time. That just makes me so happy. Hello. It is currently 1:04. I've actually been pretty productive. Filmed none of it. So I ate. I'm gonna go eat again though. And I ironed my uniform for tomorrow. And I logged in to check my flights for tomorrow. So we had 3. I had the Norfolk to DC, which is not a service flight, and then we have a Fort Walton turn out of DC, and it's a long flight, but it's not a meal service flight. So I'm gonna be at Aft Gurley tomorrow, so we'll get through that together. I've stayed in Norfolk before, so I'm sure I've done a room tour, but I'm just gonna glance over. Don't judge my mess. It's not really mess, it's just my stuff is all out, so don't judge my disorder. There's a method to my chaos. So I have the 2 beds and my ironed uniform. I plan to go to the gym later, and then my book bag with some of the stuff that I have in it, my suitcase over here. I was eating over there. Yes, I grabbed that orange juice because we were just gonna throw it out, so it came with me. Window, the mirror I was just talking to you guys in, the closet area with a safe back there. Iron board I just used, le door. And then we have the bathroom. So yeah, nice little setup. I know I've stayed here before a couple times. Don't know if I've done a room tour, but that's the one that you're gonna get right now. So I'm gonna head downstairs and give me something more to eat for like a second lunch. So I ate about 11, and then I relaxed a little bit. I played some games, I unwind. I had a decompression session is what I'm gonna call it. And I'm hungry again. So I'm gonna go eat lunch, second lunch, and I have dinner for later. There's not a microwave in this room, but there is one in the crew lounge that they have downstairs. So I'll just take that down there later tonight and eat. So yeah, we're gonna go downstairs now. So I came back to the room because the restaurant and the hotel, they don't have like a lunch hour. They don't open dinner until 4. I'm not waiting that long. So we're gonna get our steps in and go see what we can get ourselves into. So had to come back to the room, grab my jacket because it feels like sprinter outside, and I had to put some actual shoes on again because of the sprinter. So let's try this again. Good morning. It is currently 5:09 a.m. and I'm about to head downstairs and look in the crew room and see if they have anything good for breakfast before meeting up with my crew. It is go home day, and today I should be at Aft Gurley. I've been a Fort Gurley this whole time, and we have a 900 today, so that'll be fun. I went out to eat, and then I was on the phone with my mom, so I didn't really record while I was out. And then, when I got back to the room, knocked. Your girl was knocked. So I woke up at like 9 or 10, and then I just stayed up. I was scrolling and having a good old time, laughing at some vids and whatnot until it was time for me to get ready. So definitely appreciated my past self for ironing and getting myself together, because it allowed my current self to rest a little bit more. So I'm gonna finish getting myself together and make my way downstairs, and then I'll check in with you guys at the airport. We are on board. They were a little behind bringing us our aircraft, so of course we're not rushing, but we're definitely in MoGT. So what we're going to be. So we're gonna get these people to DC. These been quick turns, so just checking in with y'all. We're about to board up to head to DC. We made it to Fort Walton. real smooth. It's just a long flight, but we're gonna get these passengers on and get to DC. Back to my car. This is the end of my 3-day trip. So I picked this trip up so I didn't have to talk to crew scheduling. And yeah, overall, I would say this was a really good trip. From my crew to the flights themselves to the passengers. Like overall, this was a great start to the month of March. I am very pleased. I don't feel like I vlogged much for this trip. Yeah, I don't feel like I did. So the first day I had 3 legs. So we had the Charleston turn, and then we had overnight. So yeah, Charleston, South Carolina turn, and then the overnight from it was from DC to Columbia, South Carolina. So we swapped FOs because my original FO, he wasn't feeling well, so he called out, and then we kept the new FO for the remainder of the trip. Kept the same captain throughout the trip, and captain amazing, absolutely amazing. I ended up sending him nonstop thank points because we had a passenger who left their iPad on our Charleston to DC flight, but we did not realize it until we were on our way to Columbia, South Carolina. So once we figured it out, I pulled up the old flight, figured out who the passenger was. He was one of our executive platinum members. So our captain went above and beyond and called our carrier, our mainline carrier, to see if they could, I know he couldn't call the passenger himself, protect people's information, of course. But he was like, if you guys could reach out to him, get a message to him, let him know that we are flying back into DC that following morning. And they did all that. It was a little pushback originally because they wanted to send the iPad through a lost and found procedure. And my captain was talking about how he went through that before, and it took him a month to get his iPad back. So he was like, he's one of our executive platinum members. Let's go above and beyond here. So we brought the iPad back to DC. So we left it in the airport with the gate agent, so they put it in lost and found. And then we picked it up when we got back to the airport that following morning. He was constantly on the phone with, like I said, our mainline carrier to get in contact with the passenger to let them know, hey, we'll be back in DC. I think we were back by a little before 9 a.m. that following morning. So they reached out to him. He didn't answer the first couple times, so they had to leave a message, of course. And they realized that he was actually going to fly out, I think, the following day. So it should have been today that he flew out to go to another destination. And they were like, he talked to a manager. He was like, okay, we'll just take the iPad to the gate he's supposed to fly out of and then give him the iPad then. So I was truly impressed, because most people, they would have been like, you know what, lost and found, and that's it, that's all. That person can figure it out if they're gonna, that person can figure it out when they figure it out. So I just loved his energy. Like, he would get on the mic and talk to the passengers, get them laughing, keep them calm. And it makes a difference. It makes the flight so much better. So that's why I sent him nonstop thank points. He definitely deserved it. So then day 2, we had just 2 legs. So Columbia to DC, and then DC to Norfolk. So them first 2 days, flights on time. We on it. And I was like, yeah, it was nice. I ended up going out on my Norfolk overnight. Around the corner from the hotel, there was like this marketplace thing going on. So I went out looking for food, and I was a little overwhelmed with the amount of people that I found outside. And y'all, you should have seen me fussing, because in my mind it was Monday when this happened. And I was like, why are these people not at work? Like, why y'all just out and about? I talked to my mom, and she was like, they may not be at work because it's Sunday. I said, oh, okay. Hey, it happens. It happens. So I did go out to eat, because we had a little longer layover. And it was nice. I had some tacos, and sat at a bar, had a couple drinks, and yeah, it was good. I didn't vlog it because I was on the phone, and I use my phone to vlog, so it was a lot of people, and I was on the phone, so I didn't want to have to hang up like 1 second so I can get this clip. I just wasn't feeling it that day, so that's really why I haven't been vlogging a lot. I've done quite a bit, but haven't been vlogging. And then today was a long day. So it started leaving from Norfolk. We had the originating flight with this aircraft. So yesterday and the day before, we flew with the same aircraft. And then today we had a new aircraft. We had a 900. So we get to the airport on time. We're like, okay, we're ready. We get to the gate, and they haven't pulled the aircraft around to the gate so that we can go and do everything. So the aircraft didn't get there until we were supposed to start boarding. So we get down there, they have to do their security check, so we can't get on just yet while they're doing that. So once they finish that, we get on. We're trying to get everything together, make sure everything's in order, because of course, as soon as we get on, here comes the gate agent with the passengers. And so they'll scan them in and then hold them before they can get on board until we're ready. So we had that, then we had to go de-ice. So we were delayed significantly leaving Norfolk. And we kept this aircraft. So because we were delayed leaving Norfolk, that's our first flight of the day, the delays just rolled on. They got shorter and shorter as time went on, but these were pretty full cabins that we were flying with for a 900, so much more people. And so that first leg, and these 3 flights, lots of children. I want to say that first flight, was it the first one? No, it was the second flight. We had 5 infants. I was like, good gracious. And then the third flight, we had 3 infants. I was like, a lot of babies flying today. So they weren't too bad. So it was nice. The first flight wasn't a service flight, so I did help my other flight attendant and do first class service and stuff like that, because she's still new. So she was asking questions and like picking up. I would give her tips for what works for me and how I make things go a little smoother. And I told her, I was like, each flight attendant you fly with, you're gonna you're gonna get something new or something different from them. So I like to pick and choose what I like to use from each flight attendant that I fly with. Everyone has their way of doing things, and that's okay. So she did like some of the tips that I gave her. I was like, hey, if you ever have any questions, feel free to hit me up. I do not mind. So each flight attendant that I flew with for this trip, they were new. They're like graduated within the last month. So it was exciting. I do like that experience, like being able to like help them along. So there were some times when she was running around. I was like, oh, well, since the door's open, you know, if you want, you can go ahead and get the drink orders, especially on those short flights for first class, because then that saves you time in the air and they get more time with their drinks. We could possibly get a refill going if possible, because very, very short flight. So she greatly appreciated that. I was like, yeah, baby, we not, ripping and running is not in my ministry. So not doing that in the air. I like to have everything as prepared as possible before we get in the air, if I can. So it was nice flying with her. It was good. It was a lot of people, a lot of people. So since I didn't, this was a trip that I picked up. I don't know why train jumped the tracks, y'all. Since this was a trip that I picked up, I didn't have to talk to Chris scheduling, as y'all know I like, and I was able to leave out and come to my car. So I'm about to head home. It's about 2:50 now, so I'm gonna make my way home. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, live freely, love always, travel often. Bye.